Okay, welcome back. We continue developing our database content aligner program, and we shall start with importing a class from the Bluetimer project here and this one, qp_helpers.cs. So import it in your project so that you can see it in your Solution Explorer, like this. So I will not explain how this code works, we will just use it. So in your main window, go to backend, and in your constructor, before initializing the component, we will check whether the program is licensed or not for software protection purposes. So in order to use this imported class, we will create a shortcut to this namespace and this public class. So in your usins, type usin, let's call it qp, equals qp_helpers.qp_helpers. Again, this is the namespace, this is the class name. Namespace, class name. In our constructor here, we will first specify the full registry path where the license key will be stored. So string full registry path equals at, then hk underscore current underscore user, then backslash software, again backslash, and here you customize a bit. I will go with Quasimodo programs backslash db eline. Alright, and another string variable for registry value name. And I will call it just key, like this. Well, again, you can customize it as you wish. And now we will get the actual key. So string key equals qp. Oh, it removed the unused shortcut. So let's type it again. Using qp equals qp_helpers. So here qp dot, and it has a method called getRegister. And here you pass the full registry path and registry value name. So that's how you get the key from this machine, in case you have it. If there is no value or the registry path doesn't exist, it will just return null. So we will check if key is not null, and we will check if the key is licensed. So qp is licensed, and here we pass the key, and then pay attention the resource name as a string. So we will add a txt file with the hashes obtained from the license keys. So let's type db eline, I just the namespace, then the file name that we will create, so license keys.txt. So if the key is not null, I just it exists and it is licensed, then we will set the property underscore is licensed, which is bool, to true. And based on this property, we can disable or enable some functions that should or should not be enabled based on whether we have the valid license or not. Otherwise, if the key does not exist or it is not licensed, it is invalid, not the real key, then we will again set qp underscore is licensed to false. And some additional actions. So first, let's create a new window. So if we don't have a license, the program will show a buy me window. So let's add a new window. Add new window, WPF. I will call it window underscore buy. Now I will create a folder for Windows. So add new folder, Windows. And I will put here window buy. Okay. I can close it, and also I will put main window here as well. And because I moved the main window, which is the startup, let's go to app.xaml and modify the startup URI. Here we will just type Windows, I just the folder, and backslash, like this. Now let's get back to our constructor and we continue the else block. If it is not licensed, we create window buy, let's call it win equals new window buy. And we just show dialog. Now let's create a txt file for the hashes, but in order to trick those who will try to crack the program, we will call it license keys. So text files, and here license keys.txt. Right now it is empty, and we just need to change its build action from resource to embedded resource. Now I will show you how to generate license keys. So there are many websites where you can generate your passwords or license keys, it doesn't matter. Well, I found this website, passwordsgenerator.net /plus. Be sure to use the plus page because the base one does not allow you to customize it a lot. So here you can customize how your license key will look like. I like to turn off this restriction, and I would like to allow duplicate characters. And that's probably it. So here you can click the generate passwords button, and as you see, every time it's different, but it allows only up to 50 passwords or license keys. So once you have generated these license keys, press copy. Then you need to store them somewhere. I like using Word for this purpose. So paste your license keys here, then select all and insert a table. So table, insert a table. Then insert a column to the right, here. Then we will use another page from the same website called MD5-hash-generator. So here you paste your license keys, check both of these checkboxes, so treat each line as a separate string. And well, it's not necessary, but I like to make it lowercase. So these are your license keys, and these are MD5 hashes of your string. Well, you can use other hashing algorithms if you would like to. So copy to clipboard and paste it in the second column. Now your license keys and their hashes are associated, and you can check if they are right by copying one of them, pasting it here, 858A94. 858A94. So they should be right. When you are going to deliver license keys, you should use values from this column. So these are stored somewhere on your machine or on the server, and you will deliver these keys. For example, if you try to sell them. But the program will store only hashes from the second column. These are obtained by processing these by a hashing algorithm. So somewhere on your local machine, you can store this table as a whole to keep them associated for your convenience. I usually save it as a txt file, and I usually do it like this. So keys and hashes. So I saved it in my project folder, and I specified for internal use only so that I do not deliver it anywhere. But as I said, your program should store only the hashes, so the right column. So you can just copy it and paste it in your license keys txt file, which is used by the project. So paste it here and save it. Now let's customize our window by, which will be shown if we don't have a key. So the title will be, let's type by db line. Okay, the height will be 250, the width will be 300. Then its window start application will be center screen. The window style will be none because we will create our own window frame. The resize mode will be set to no resize, and I like using Calibri. Next, border brush will be hash AAA, and the border thickness will be set to 1, and I will increase the default font size to 16. And in order to avoid any blur images, in case I have any, I will use layout rounding set to true. So inside we will have 3 rows. One for the draggable bar, one for the content, and one for the bottom buttons. Grid row definitions. The first one will be set to auto, height auto. The second one will just expand, and the last one will have a fixed height of say 45, like this. So in the first row we will have a border, grid row 0. Its padding will be set to 10. We will modify its mouse down event. Let's call it drag with header. Press F12. Okay, and set the background to be transparent. Alright, so inside we will have a grid with 2 columns, one for the title and one for the cross button. So grid column definitions, then the first column will just expand and the second one will have an auto width. In the first column we will have a text block for the title, so grid column 0, its name will be tblc underscore header. The text will be by db line. Let's look how it looks. Well, let's set the font weight to be bold and increase the font size to be 18. Right, let's make it 100%. Okay, and in the second column we will have a button. So button in grid column 1, its name will be button underscore cross. Its content will be just letter X. Let's set its horizontal alignment to right. The foreground hash AAA. We will access its click event. It will be the same as the button close, so button underscore close underscore click. Press F12, get back. It will also be bold, so font weight bold, and the font size will be 18 as well. Okay, this won't be the final design because I will add some styles in the future parts. So that's it for the draggable border. Next we will have a border for the content, so border grid row 1, border thickness border thickness 0, 1, and border brush again hash and ace. So inside we'll have a grid with the margin of 10 and grid row definitions. I plan to have 2 row definitions, so row definition height auto, and the second one will expand. So in the first row I will have a grid, so grid row 0, and it will have grid row definitions as well, so 3 of them. So row definition, row definition, row definition. Why do I create such a structure? Well, that's because I will have a text block for the subheader, a text block for the limitations of using the free version, and a row for entering the license key. In the first row I will have a text block, grid row 0. Its name will be, let's call it tblc underscore subheader. Text will be equal to you are using dbline free edition. Enter your license key to work without these limits. Then a colon and set text alignment to justify, set vertical alignment to center, and set text wrapping to wrap. In the second row we will have a text block for limitations, so grid row 1. Its text alignment will be justify. We will just set the foreground to be red. Let's type here database limit 100 records. I made it like this because in theory I can duplicate it and add more records, but right now I will leave just one limitation. Finally, we will have a row for the text block and a button to check the key. So again we will need a grid. Let's put it in grid row 2. It will have 2 column definitions, so grid column definitions. Well, we can leave them to be equal. So in the first column we will have a text box. I will name it tb underscore password. It will be in grid column 0. Let's put it here. And it will have a tooltip like license key. And in the second column we will have a button. So button grid column 1. I will name it button underscore register. I will access its click event, press F12 and get back. Its content will be just register. Alright. So in the second row of the content grid, we will have another button. So button grid row 1, I will name it button underscore buy. So it will lead to a website where they can purchase a license key in case they want to. Again, it needs a click event, press F12. Its background will be khaki and the content will be just buy. Its margin will be set to, well, it needs just a top margin. Just a tiny top margin to separate it from the previous row. So after this whole content border, we will have another button in grid row 2. This button will be used the same way as the cross button, just to skip the license part and use the free edition of the program. Button underscore skip. The content will be also skip, the margin will be 10, and the click event will be button close click, the same as here. This was the design, and now let's go to its backend. Again, we will use a shortcut using qp equals qphelpers.qphelpers. In the drag with header event, which is called when you try to drag this border at the top, we will just check if e.changed button equals mouse button dot left. We will call the drag move built-in method, which will drag the whole window. So when we click the register button, we will check if the entered key is licensed. So again, if qp dot is licensed, and we will get the key from tb underscore password dot text, and the resource name will be again the file db line dot license keys dot txt. So if it is licensed, we will call the set register method from qp helpers class, and here we will again use the same registry path and the same key name, and the value will be tb underscore password dot text. Then we will say explicitly that it is licensed now and show a message like successful registration, and close this window. Otherwise, if it is not licensed or if it is empty, we will show an appropriate message box. So the key is not licensed. Then when we click the buy button, we will just open the page in any browser the user uses. So process, press Ctrl dot, using system diagnostics, then start. And here you would want to put the link to your website where you are selling these keys. I will just as always put the link to my YouTube channel. When you click the close button, I just skip or just press the cross button, you just call the method close. I just skipping all of these. So now we can check whether the program successfully can access the register and how it will process different keys that I'm going to put in. So if I press skip or the cross button, this window will just close. And we actually see this window only because we don't have a license key here. Else. Now let's try to register the empty key. The key is not licensed. Now let's put something. The key is not licensed. Now let's get one of the correct keys, or rather, let's try to put the hash. You see, it expects the key. Even if it contains the respective hash, it must be obtained from the key, not put directly here. And now let's get one of the real keys from here, for example, the first one. And let's try first to make the last character lowercase. the key is not licensed. And finally, let's make it again uppercase. ID is correct. Successful registration. Okay, so when we try to launch it now, we should not see the Buy Me window. You see, because we had the key which is licensed, the else block is not executed, and so the main window gets initialized. So using MD5 hash is a sort of a basic protection, which helps you to protect your program from the most simple distribution. A stronger approach would be to use a public-private key, which of course implies a bit harder implementation of such an approach. So again, about the license keys, as you see, I have put 50 keys here. So imagine the situation when you sell 50 keys or just deliver 50 license keys. When you get the 51st request to get the key, you don't have enough. So how to solve this problem is just to make an update, introduce a new function, and provide some more keys. And if you know that some keys are already abused by different people, you can also just remove them from the list. So that's it. If this was helpful, please subscribe, and let's see each other in the next part.